guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to see what is the big deal with this Wes Watson character. Everybody's ragging on him online, and yeah, they're saying he's a scammer. He's this over the top figure, cartoonish alpha male character. So let's check him out and let's see what the big deal is with this Wes Watson guy.
Guys, I would rather be a physically imposing man than have money. First and foremost in my fucking life, I have to be jacked.
So usually people who have money or have looks or have, the thing that they say is not important, they're usually the ones that say, it's not all that, it's not this. It is important, guys. Money is very important. We live in a time where, unfortunately, you think like you could do like an oath of poverty, but we live in such a global comparison market where everyone's comparing their lives to the other. We live in such a consumerist society, a consumerist culture that as frugal as you'd like to be, you need money. You need money to live in a decent place with low crime. You're gonna need money. If you think money's not important, then I mean, I guess you could live out of your car or whatever, or do one of those things like van life type of thing, maybe. Okay. But yeah, usually people who have the thing that they're saying is not important. So this guy supposedly has a whole bunch of money from scamming people. I allegedly, I don't want to say that that's true. There's people out there that have made videos where they say that he promises you that he's going to train you and all of that, and he's going to teach you how to get rich or something like that, and then he takes your money and never replies to you. Allegedly, I got to say that, to save my own butt. But you'll ever notice, like, even in the videos like about looks, you'll have like a male model, right? Saying that, looks is not everything, and personality and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, dude, of course you're saying looks is not everything because you have it, right? So yeah, I don't agree with that money's not important, this and that. No, money is very, very important. Now you shouldn't be super obsessed with it, and lower the quality of your life in order to get it, but it is important.
Have to be a man who nobody can fuck with. A man that can protect himself and is confident in all situations. If you're not a man. First and foremost, I have to be a jacked savage. So when I went to prison, that was my first task. I'm like, I'm just gonna smack.
I agree that as a man, you got to be competent, you got to be brave, you got to be, you got to stick up for yourself, you got to stick up for others. But this exaggerated, masculine archetype where you walk into a public place and you're already sizing everybody up, and you're thinking to yourself, how many people can I beat up in here? How many people could beat me up in here? It's like, dude, chill out. We're at Target. This is Target, bro. No one's trying to beat anybody up. No one is thinking of sizing anyone up. Everybody's just going about their day, buying little tchotchkes, buying little knickknacks. Okay, no one is, so this guy, like, he walks into, like, I don't know, some restaurant, and he's already thinking, how many people could I beat up in here? How many people could beat me up in here? Like, dude, chill out. It's not that serious. But I do agree with the part where he said, as a man, you got to be brave and you got to stick up for yourself, and that type of stuff I do agree with. But this over the top, you know, alpha male stuff, this stuff is cringe, man. This stuff is so cringe. Like, be a real human being. That's all you got to do. Just be a real human being. If you're a man, act like a man. If you're a woman, act like a woman. You know what I mean? And we're all gonna vary in our personalities and stuff like that. But this alpha male caricature, and I'm not gonna say that it's fake. It could be real. This is probably really him. But if this is really you, where you go into places and you're sizing people up, You take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese or some amusement park, and you walk in there and you're thinking like, how many of these dads can I beat up? Like, dude, who thinks like that?
Smash these bars, smash these workouts. I'm not going to let anything break me physically. When we're all working out, I'm going to go harder than everyone. I'm going to do more. I'm going to make sure that in this group of men, I'm one of the top motherfuckers, and I always was. It's very easy when you get around people to just beat them because that's all we got. That's all we got in life is the competition between two men. And men who don't think they're in competition are fucking tripping. You don't have to want the other guy to lose. You just gotta want to win. And guess what? If he beats you, you can be fucking proud of him too. So first and foremost, I must be a physically imposing man. This is the path I took. Then, while you're suffering, while you're making these sacrifices, you get the second thing that I must be as a man. You gain the wisdom. When you gain the wisdom as a man, this is that you start to see life as what it is.
So he's not entirely wrong that life is about competition. You're a uh, in a competitive market, whether it's the sexual market, whether it's the labor market. You are, whether you like it or not, in a market. Whether you like it or not, your looks matter. Whether you like it or not, you know, your status matters. Whether you like it or not, uh, the amount of money you make and stuff like that, it matters. You're being sized up. You're being compared to other people, even if you yourself are like nonchalant, like, hey man, I don't care about that type of stuff. That is true, what he's saying. But that is not everything. Everything in life is not the competition with other men. Okay. I believe one of the biggest things you should focus on in life is your relationship with God. Okay. And this is not to be some overly preachy person. This is not to go around judging people and telling them what to do and telling them that what they do is wrong and trying to let me preach the good book to you, let me preach the good word. um it's not for you to do any of that, but I think one of the most important things in life is a relationship with God, a spiritual connection with God, and then everything else follows. Even though there are physical realities, of the real world, of the real physical world, even though there are fundamental like human, um, intrinsic things that we have, which is yes, whether we like it or not, we are competing with other people for mating and acquiring resources and stuff like that. Yes, that is true, but that's not everything. You should be obsessing over that. That's something that's part of life. Yes, you should do the best you can to be competitive in these areas of life, but it's not everything. This guy is talking about it like it's everything. Like, no, what is everything is your relationship with God. That is what is everything. And it's, once again, not to go around being some preacher guy, harassing people and trying to put your beliefs onto them. All right.
Is. Now you can really be successful in anything you choose. I don't care what blueprint you choose in life. If you have wisdom and you're mentally tough, you can be the top person in it. So, the physical pursuit of being a jacked, imposing, strong, savage man, then that gained the wisdom because I suffered all day, every day. And during that suffering, it opened up that pathway. It opened up my mind. It made me see what everyone else wasn't, and what I was. So there it is. The jacked man, the wisdom. I would rather be wise than rich. I would rather be jacked than wise. But this is the path we take. So just go on the physical journey first. Suffer. Engage in the actual fucking daily actions of a real man. Then you just walk directly into the suffering and gain the wisdom. Once you gain the wisdom, you can pick any blueprint out here in life and beat everybody. Because a wise man will always fall back on those quotes, on those understandings, and on his beliefs whenever he wants to quit. You motherfuckers really think that you can be respected if you're not physically fit and you're not wise just because you have money? Nobody respects that shit. Everybody sees you for your weaknesses, not your strengths. You think they're able to look past your weaknesses to your strengths, which is just money. This is the biggest problem because I have all three. And the fact is money means the least to me, but it's needed. You can never say money doesn't mean much if you haven't had it. And I grew up without it, so I had to get it. And once I got money, I realized, well, it's the least of the three, but it's needed. So first and foremost, being a jacked savage of a man is what it is the obligation of all you men.
Um, I understand that standards have fallen in the West. Okay, all you got to do is go to the mall, go to a festival, just go to a place with a lot of people. You're gonna see that the average guy looks like crap. Okay, the average guy uh is out of shape, weak. And I know you guys have seen this guy a million times. I'm going to describe him. He's overweight. He's wearing some sort of sports jersey. He has a baseball cap or sports cap on. He's wearing shorts, sandals. He has like tattoo on his calf, tattoo on his like leg. All right. He's bald, has like maybe a beard, maybe not. I know you guys have seen this guy like a million times. Well, this archetype of a guy is everywhere where he's into sports and whatever, but he's out of shape and he doesn't really care what he wears. I understand all that. I understand that standards are falling, and I understand that he wants to like push this like for men to be better, and it's a good message, and I agree to an extent. However, um not everybody can be jacked and whatever, and that's not the most important thing in life. Now, I do agree with, don't let yourself get out of shape. you know um let's have some societal standards. Everybody should be, should try to stay slim. I agree with that 100%. But trying to be jacked, everybody trying to be jacked, it's just not the most important thing. The most important thing is the spirit. The most important thing is the inner connection with God. Even this right here that we have right here, all these tattoos and stuff, all of the, the vulgarity. We, as a society, we got to do away with this. Okay. Yes, let's just say he isn't bringing down the image of the country with obesity. Okay, he's not obese. Let's just say he doesn't, everywhere he goes, he wears nice clothing or stuff like that. So image wise, let's just say his clothing and his body weight, he's doing good, right? But then in other areas, he's not doing good. Okay, and look, I got tattoos. Okay, when I'm with my friends, I'll curse. Also, I'll say bad words. But this stuff that he promotes too, we got to get away from this. We got to get away from this, tattoos and cursing and being just a vulgar person. We got to get back to more people having class, because you can have money and not have class. You could be in shape and not have class. And look, I agree with, having some drip, having some swag, being fashionable. I agree with, having your own style. I agree with, being a little bit of a badass. But he says that being overweight is the worst thing in the world. It's the worst thing you can be. I agree. It is bad. But also being like proud of being in and out of jail and being like this guy full of tattoos, and you go around saying MF for this and MF for that, and it's like, okay, why is that an improvement to the weak fat guy who doesn't bother anybody? Like,
Second, being wise. Because if you're not wise, being fit or being rich isn't going to suit you. You're going to ruin your life really quickly. And it's very easy nowadays. I've ruined my life plenty of times. That's what gained me wisdom. The suffering that I endured during prison, the suffering that I've endured during mistakes I've made in relationships and in life, this was needed. So stop being one of these pussies who laugh at other people's mistakes and say, damn, I haven't made enough mistakes. That's why I'm a weird little bitch. You guys are weird little bitches who think you're gonna learn wisdom through books and without mistakes. You stupid motherfuckers. You can't learn everything on the internet. You have to learn it through life, you dumb motherfuckers.
Oh goodness gracious, this guy. How the heck does this guy have 600,000 subscribers on YouTube? Um, I try my best not to curse in any of my videos, and this guy just f bomb after f bomb. And once again, I'm just gonna repeat what I said. He says that being out of shape and being wimpy, like you're just you're not good for society. You're not good for our culture, our country, or you're not good for the world or whatever. You make you're a bad image to your family. You're a bad image to whatever group you belong to. Okay, but you know, if I go to a movie theater and I'm like within, out of shape, kind of wimpy guy, and we're gonna go watch a movie. Let's just say he's a cousin. Like I got like he's my cousin. He's out of shape and he's not, but I'm gonna be supposedly embarrassed that I'm walking around with this fat, wimpy guy. I'd also be embarrassed to walk around with a guy like that. I'd be embarrassed to walk around with some guy, overly, showboating and cursing and, I'm here and I'm the alpha male and, I'm sizing everybody up and who am I gonna beat up in here, I'd be embarrassed to walk around with a guy like that too. Um, and physicality is important, but today, it's not everything. Okay, there are also things as false flags. There are also things as honeypotting. There are also things as infiltration. There are also things as spy games. There are also things as you know uh, uh, cyber attacks, hacking. Like someone that this guy would consider to be a weak, pathetic male. It's probably super smart in quantum computing and artificial intelligence and stuff like that. And he's probably 5'7", 140 pounds, but he's like his brain is just like it's a computer. Literally, his physical brain his organic brain is a computer. So yes, as a society, we need to step it up. I agree. I agree. I agree. However, there are also other things in life where people can excel. That's number one. And number two, you're not providing a better alternative, okay, to what you criticize. Because if the alternative to what you criticize is to go around and being arrogant and showboating and sizing everybody up and how many people in this room could beat me up? How many people in this room can I beat up? I mean, how's that any better?
But you real ones who take the path with me, you real ones that understand how this is done, you just keep going. Just by the time you've built a beast, you won't even know you're a beast, but everyone else will know it. And by the time you've built it, you won't even care about it. You'll care about getting other people in shape. Now you're getting wise. Now you don't even see it. At the start, it's superficial. At the end, it's selfless as a motherfucker. So like everything in life, every journey starts off really selfish and then ends selfless. So, I mean, think about it. Whenever you first wanted money, you wanted stuff. You wanted your TV, or you wanted your video games. This is when you're a kid. Or you wanted your weed, or you wanted your car. You just wanted what you wanted. But then once you become a man who's killing it, and you really make some financial moves, you're like, I want to take care of my family at a high level. That's the evolution of a man. That's the same thing in physical fitness. At first, you just want to get in shape, and then you're like, I want to pass this on. So this is the pursuit that I've been telling you since I've been on YouTube. Create the man you admire, give that to the world. Mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. And I've done it. You guys, get out there and realize you're gonna get hated on. You're gonna be the outcast. You're gonna be the person that's misunderstood. But why would they understand you? They gave up on their goals and dreams, and you chase them every day like a lunatic. They think you're too intense. But would you want to be where they're at? Never. The people who think you're too intense.
This guy's talking such a good game. I wonder if on his page, on his Instagram page, he's shown support for Kanye. Do you support Yay? Do you support Yay, Mr. Wes Watson? Do you support Yay? If you support Yay, then I guess you're putting your money where your mouth is if you support Yay, because everything you've described right there is Yay to a T, right? And I don't think that you have gone as hard for um, uncovering truth and helping people's minds as he has. So I wonder if he has shown support for Ye. That'll be interesting to know that. But so there's a minute left. As you can see, I understand why people are saying this guy's cringe. Uh, but you got to give him a little grace, which is in order to be entertaining on the internet, you got to play a character and you got to be a little bit more flamboyant or expressive or be a little bit more animated. I understand that. Um, so his message is not entirely wrong. I'm not saying I disagree 100%. He is making good points. The way he delivers it, I understand it's like a drill sergeant style delivery. I think that most people, their problem with him is the money scams. You know, playing off those money scams. So yeah, guys, this is Wes Watson. I guess what are my thoughts on him? I think he's like a cringe alpha male caricature. Maybe this is the real him. Maybe he's really like that. There are some people you'd be surprised, like, wow, like you literally think this way. Like wow, like this is your real personality. Um and whatever, so you just got to be careful with idolizing people you see on the internet. And someone asks you, hey, can you donate? Hey, can you buy my t-shirt? Hey, could you you know I don't know, support my whatever. Fine. But when someone's when are people going to learn that these guys like him, that they're going to teach you how to get rich? The way they're getting rich is by teaching you how to get rich, right? Buying their course. People really need to stop falling for this. Buy my program, buy my course, and I'm going to get you rich. You know, um, what is it? There's more than 6 million ways to skin a cat, right? So you got to figure it out. You got to figure out, what are you good at? What market you could get into to make money. Um, but yeah, that's it. I guess this is the Wes Watson guy everybody's clowning on. Once again, not that everything he says is wrong. He is a little cringe, and don't fall for anybody trying to sell you a get rich quick scheme. Okay, guys. Anyways, love you guys. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, and I'm out.